Mr. Banks is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations, Mr. Phelan. You have been nominated to my dream job, the Secretary of the Navy, and I don't think in my lifetime it's ever been more important that we have a leader like you to make the Navy great again, make it strong again. It's especially important to me because I wore the uniform and served as a Navy Reserve officer for 10 years, and I wanted to ask you from the outset, have you thought a lot about the importance of the reserves and making sure that the Navy Reserves remains a strong component of the United States Navy? Have you given a lot of thought to that and how important it is and what you can do to strengthen it and make it even better?
Thank you, Senator Banks, for the question. I know it's an important issue to you, and I enjoyed spending time with you in your office. I think the reserves are something we need to really look at and strengthen and make better. I think it's kind of, what I've heard, again, not in there, it's that the reserves are kind of an afterthought a little bit today in today's Navy, and that's a mistake. And I think you've seen reserve forces used with great efficacy in the Marines and in some of the other service branches. And I think that's something to be looked at. And if confirmed, I look forward to working with you on that and getting some ideas.
I appreciate your commitment to that. I deployed to Afghanistan as a Navy Reserve Supply Corps officer. The Navy Reserves gave me an opportunity a little bit later in life than typical military service to use skills that I had, experiences that I had to contribute to wear the uniform, to serve my country, never thinking that I would give 20 years and retire, but that avenue to service is what the Navy Reserves, the reserve component, is all about. And I look forward to work. I appreciate your commitment to making sure that everyone in the Navy organization understands how valuable the reserves are and work together to strengthen it. The other thing that we talked about in my office and want to talk about today is the historic recruitment crisis in the United States Navy. In the over 50 years of an all-volunteer force, the Navy's missed the mark year after year under the last administration. The last administration had to lower standards to meet their recruitment goals. And I wonder if you thought about that. I mean, how can we get standards back to where they need to be to find the best and the brightest, the young leaders, whether enlisted or in the officer corps, to fix the recruitment crisis of the United States Navy?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Look, I think it's critical that we have standards that are high and that we have people who can meet those standards. The business is warfighting, and there's no margin for error in that. So you need the most capable and best people, and we need to have high standards to meet that. I think that there are some things to learn from some of the other services in terms of what they've done recruiting-wise. I think the Marines in particular have done a very effective job at it. What I understand is the Marines put some of their best leadership into the recruiting role, and that's one of the reasons why they do so well with it. So I'm going to try to adapt some of the best practices we get from other services and from my business experience in how to attract and retain talent. A lot of it is making sure that you whatever the job may be, that you kind of have the appropriate skill sets mapped out, and then you try to hire that person. And I think that's really an important thing. And I think one of the important things, what I've learned in business, is you always wanted to hire the person for tomorrow, not for today. And what happens to a lot of organizations is you hire for that immediate need, and then that person can't grow to that job. In this business, we need to be hiring the Mr. and Mrs. Tomorrows to make sure that they can compete and do. So recruiting will be a major focus for us.
Yeah, your business background, what you bring to the table, I think can go a long way to helping improve that process. I mean, the great news is that the day President Trump was elected on election day, we saw an immediate bump in recruitment in all of the branches. I mean, it's remarkable, but it just goes to show that when we tell the young men and women all over this country that America is worth fighting for, that wearing the uniform is indeed the greatest honor that you can have, then those recruitment numbers will go up. And I think you're the man for the job to help us get that done. I appreciate you serving our country in a big way in the United States Navy. I look forward to working with you. You have my full support. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank